basically, like, I was just gonna give you some tools today about health and fitness and the importance of the way you're looking at health and fitness, and understand that it's an opportunity to connect to yourself, and to understand that, like, when you feel bad and then you work out and you feel better, there's a reason for that. It's because when you do movement, you release energy, and it's your posture and your, like, awareness is very much connected to your nervous system. So when you create a behavioral pattern that's not positive, and you're not choosing to do health and fitness, you collect this, like, crust that kind of, like, keeps you from being able to connect to yourself and connect to your nervous system. So when we start a behavioral pattern to start to gain momentum with the health and fitness journey, you end up releasing this energy, and you start to connect to yourself, and you start to regulate your nervous system. And it's important to look at it like that, as opposed to, like, looking in the mirror and, like, oh, my ass doesn't look good. Because it's really more about connecting to yourself and connecting to the present moment. And you always have kind of these four things where you have the present moment, you have time, and you have the behavioral pattern associated with that, and you have your expression you're in. So when you honor a positive expression and you create a behavioral pattern to get you in the present state, you gain momentum in your fitness journey, and you receive more joy and well-being. When you stress out from work and you decide to, like, oh, I'm not going to go to the gym, I'm just going to have a drink to feel better, like, you kind of add to that crust, and then you receive less joy, and it affects, like, your posture and your overall well-being, and it affects your nervous system. So it's important to understand those four things, where you have the present moment, and then you have, like, time passing, and you have behavioral patterns, and you have your expression you're in. So when you work on yourself and you decide you want to honor that positive expression, you gain access to yourself, and you gain access to the present moment, and you gain momentum by honoring that behavioral pattern. So it's important to understand that, because the nervous system is very much related to what expression you're in. So if you're honoring a negative expression, you're, like, bringing darkness into your life, and you're not connecting to yourself, so you're not connecting to your joy, and you're not creating momentum in your life for a positive. So when you bring in that darkness and you honor that low vibrational expression, it's kind of like you're giving the devil a steak, and he wants to have a steak, and then he wants to have another steak. So he's going to bring things into your life that keep you into that expression. So it's important to have an awareness and discipline that when you're dealing with a difficult time or a difficult expression, that you don't honor that expression. You can feel it, but you just want to end up with a disciplined state where you decide to get to the gym, and you decide to move, and then you start to release that crust that's holding you back, and you start to connect to yourself, and you start to receive more joy, and then you don't have to deal with the difficulty of honoring that negative expression. When you honor that negative expression, it's like, you see bad things happen to people, like, usually happens in, like, threes, you know what I mean? Because, like, you're honoring a negative expression, and then you're kind of feeding the devil a steak. So the devil, once he has a steak, he doesn't want to leave. So then he wants to have another steak, so he's going to bring people into your life or situations that are going to keep you in that expression. And so it's important to understand that, so that you don't bring negativity into your life. And health and fitness is a great way to overcome that, because basically it's like, through posture and through awareness and working on your mobility and doing skill-based workouts and bettering yourself and working on your breathing and understanding all these things, you really start to feel good and you avoid those kind of moments. And you become like kind of like an empowered space for other people to be empowered. So it's kind of like being, you're either kind of a thermometer where you're honoring that negative expression and you're like reacting to the temperature of the room, for example, and then, or you can be a thermostat where you're like empowered and you're focused on within and you're empowering your space and your environment. And so it's just a couple things to just think about, and I hope you guys can start that behavioral pattern for your health and fitness journey. And I'm, just a resource because you always have that present moment. So like, people say like, oh, I'm gonna heal you and this and that, but basically, someone who, it's good to ask for help, and if you need help, I'm definitely a resource for that. But you always have that present moment, and you can always be empowered and create momentum in your life and choose that positive expression. So when you are aware of that, you don't really need to be healed. You can ask for help, and you can get help and do that kind of stuff. But basically, like, anyone that's going to heal you is just basically providing space for you to get rid of that negative expression. And then you're able to connect to the present moment and your life force can flow, and then you can like feel joy again and well-being. So it's important to understand that and have a good outlook on health and fitness, and not so much on like, vanity is a big part of it, but it's like important to have more of an awareness of connecting to yourself and receiving well-being and more joy in your life, and creating behavioral patterns that are gonna, help you to gain momentum. When you honor a negative expression, it's kind of like you're like wasting time and you're losing momentum and you're creating like problems. So it's important to use health and fitness as a way to connect to yourself, receive joy, and create momentum. And you can do that in a skill-based way where you like learn a new skill working out, and then you progress to the next skill, and then the next skill, and it's like a never-ending process of bettering yourself.
Of tools, which is kind of what I discussed earlier.
Exactly.
Like you have all the tools around you, within and around us in the natural environment. And essentially, if any of my theories, or it's not really my theories, other people's theories that I've learned, is that we have all the tools out there, and you're just basically using the tools that you become an expert in.
So when I do my manual adjustment, I'm basically dealing with a lifetime of a dysregulated nervous system, because when you get like in a negative state, or you get stressed, or you're burying a certain type of expression, there's a vertebrae in your neck that will shift, and then your whole spine will get out of alignment. So when I do my adjustment, I correct that asymmetry. But it's more like once you have that adjustment, you can pretty much be good to go, and you just can create a behavioral pattern of being more aware of your space and being able to regulate that. And when you do have difficulty, you have the tools, and you always go to the tools, and you like, breathing is one of the most important, because like most people that are in a state of stress, or their nervous system is kind of burnt out, they'll have a lot of difficulty with activating their diaphragm. So like one thing just for everybody to understand is when you go to bed at night, it's important to just be able to access your belly and be able to breathe into your belly, and then that lowers your blood pressure, and then you're able to do other modalities of breath work. But it really starts from there, because posture is connected to how you're breathing. So like a lot of people breathe into their chest because they're in a state of like either thinking about the past or thinking about future problems or in their analytical consciousness, so they're not able to access that present empowered state because that's where you need to like access that present moment within your like solar plexus area. So when you diaphragmatic breathe, you're like, oh, I'm relaxed, and you lower your blood pressure, and then you can start to do a full breath where it's like stomach, chest, head, which is like the yoga breath, and then you start to feel your space, and you become that thermostat where you're focused on yourself and not on your external space. And then you can start to do multiple modalities of breath work where you like regulate your nervous system by alternating your nostril breathing, where you like fill that yoga breath, you fill the full breath, and you breathe in one nostril at the other nostril, and you'll notice like one nostril will be clogged because that will be like your nervous system being burnt out. So when you breathe into the alternating nostrils and you do the full yoga breath and you unclog the nostril that's clogged, you start to swallow and you start to yawn and you start to like realize like you're having a response because you're regulating yourself. So you can always use the breathing as a way to regulate yourself and then, make a decision to feed a positive expression with a behavioral pattern that's going to keep you in the present moment to create momentum in your life. And when you screw up, you like, you do something that, makes you not feel good, it's okay, but you always have the option to make the decision. You always have the tools to decide, I'm going to change that. I have the present moment to do that. And then you start to create momentum the other way. So it's just like important to have that awareness and understand that you always have that present moment and you have an expression, and life's tough, so you get these negative expressions, but you just can't feed those negative expressions because that's when you start to lose and you build this crust, and it's like you disconnect from your true self. You don't have your life force doesn't flow, so then you start to have aches and pains, and you start to have like digestive problems and injuries and all that stuff, and you start making mistakes and stuff starts going wrong. So it's important to have that awareness. So like when you decide you're ready, you just basically focus on fighting that urge to be negative and focus on that positive expression to get you in the present moment and start a behavioral pattern that supports that.
Like a fake it till you make it moment.
And then you just one foot in front of the other, having faith in the moment, and that's what exercise is really all about when you're starting to do things the right way, because you have to think about how you're holding yourself, and you have to be present, and you have to think about things, and you have to connect to yourself. So health and fitness is just a great way to do that. There's many tools to do that, which everybody's been talking about tonight, and I'm just here to represent that side of it, but you always have that awareness, so it's important tonight just to give you that tool and that awareness. So like, when things get tough, it's really important to try to, you feel that stuff, you do use the tools to get that expression out of you, but you really try, try's not a good word, you make the attempt in the best way possible to honor a positive expression and empower yourself in the moment and create momentum in your life for the better, and then things get better,
Can I just in quickly?
Of course.
So the beauty about Lionel is the beauty and also the reason why he's not getting the credit he deserves. He's getting the credit from the community around him, because there is many, many, many people of Tulum that I've spoken to, that have told me 100% that he has changed their lives. Okay? And one of the main reasons why flew in my parents. Obviously, I wanted to see my parents. Everyone would see their parents. Okay, but it wasn't so easy to fly my parents in because my dad is struggling in a big way. My dad's struggling not because he's been unhealthy or because he's drunk alcohol or he's had problems. My dad is the best, I believe, one of the best people in the world, and so is my mum. Okay, but he's been struggling with his health problems a long time. Yeah, because my dad is very healthy, doesn't smoke, doesn't drink, doesn't do drugs. Okay, but he's not open. Okay, so he's kept a lot of things, yeah, stresses from this world inside him, and all he wanted to do was look after me, so he didn't focus on himself. Now, I wanted them to be here. I wanted them to be here mainly because I wanted them to meet the healers of the world, the alternative healers of the world, like Lionel, yeah, that can fix people's problems, yeah, in their body, their alignment, yeah, because Lionel does not have a qualification, okay, but his biggest, he doesn't, in my eyes, he has the best qualification, but it's not like it was badged by an institution or a university or anything, but he has experience with his family and years and years and years and years and years of working on people firsthand to help them. Now, you're trying to express the beauty about positiveness to your body, okay? And someone like Deepak Chopra has written books about that, okay? And he's a big influencer. And all I know is essentially talking about is the same thing that people like Deepak Chopra talk about, is essentially giving positive energy to you. I'm not saying you don't know, because you know a lot more than me about this, so I'm asking you. Okay, but I believe that you're saying by giving your body positive influence essentially makes for a better body and mind.
Yeah, because like any negativity that comes in, there's like a reaction that happens in your space. So, you know, Sue's talking about your digestion. You know, there's definitely something that happens when you have negativity come in with that. But physically, posturally, you have a reaction in your neck because it's connected to your nervous system. So when that is like something that's happening on the regular and you've been burying it and you don't like face that process, and through discipline and making the choice to overcome that expression, you know, it just gets worse and things get worse. So it's important to
feed that with positive energy.
yeah,
right?
and like when you go to the doctor, they're gonna just kind of like give you a bunch of pills, and then you're in that, you're never dealing with the expression. That expression's buried for good, and you're just relying on this limitation of a pill that's like making you feel like there's something wrong with you, but there's nothing wrong, and you don't need someone to heal you. You just need to be able to fight through that process and feed that positive expression, so you are empowered in the present moment and gain awareness of your space. And then when you ask for help, you get help, and I'm a facilitator of that, where I will like fast forward that process for you. You know, if you do it on your own, it's a lot harder, but it's like you can do it on your own.
So, for sure. So I think what Lionel's trying to say, now the beauty about Lionel is he's so focused on helping the people around him. Yeah, he has not kind of been allowed himself to read the books and do things. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying that I'm just trying to link the knowledge that you have with the knowledge of some experts out there. So Deepak Chopra would say, and a lot of people believe in Deepak Chopra, that every single cell in our body has consciousness. Okay, so if we feed those cells with negative things, yeah, your cells are going to get depressed, and therefore it's going to affect your body, right? Similar thing to what you're saying, I think.
The reason why I have that knowledge is because I can see.
You can see it, okay.
So when someone comes in and they're unhappy, there's an energy that's there.
See that
that's
energy,
like,
right? Yeah.
And then when I do my adjustments, they release that energy.
Amazing.
And then they feel better. But it's not really something that I see it, but they don't see it. But it's like they don't need to see it. They just
they're
need to
going to
change
feel
their
better.
behavior.
They need, okay, when you say change their behaviour, yeah, in the world that I know, that I've learned through books of experts and through plant medicine, changing your behaviour is called reframing. Yes, every time we have a negative thought, yeah, if a negative thought, of course, we all have negative thoughts, right? Okay, but at the beginning, when we start having negative thoughts, it might be. Let's give you an example. I'm driving a car on a highway. I've given this example many times to my friends. I'm driving a car on a highway, and somebody cuts me up or does something to kind of, do you know what I mean, almost cause an accident or whatever it is. My initial thought is, fuck this guy, whatever, do you know what I mean, he's fucking arsehole, blah blah, and I start sending negative energy to that person. Well, let's think about this for a minute. What is that negative energy going to do?
It's going to you.
Okay, exactly. It's
So
not going to affect the arsehole that cut me up.
That's why the judgment thing is a problem. So,
exactly.
So you're walking down the street, you see some asshole do something, and then you're like, look at that asshole.
It's just affecting you, right?
But you're the one who's like basically disconnecting from yourself.
Exactly.
It's better to be like, people are so funny.
So, why?
You want to be the thermostat and not the thermometer. So you're focused on yourself. You bring the attention onto yourself, and you focus on the present, and you focus on a higher purpose, and you gain momentum that way. If you're focusing on all these people that are like, giving you a problem, you're a thermometer, and you're reacting to your environment.
Exactly.
So having that awareness is going to help you guys. So that's why I'm sharing that.
Thank you so much.
So it helps your conscious cells, where, as I said, it is not me that made up about conscious cells. I believe in Deepak Chopra that our cells are conscious, right? And essentially everything we do, if we reframe every negative thought and just take a step back and a deep breath, okay, and think about every negative thought we have, what difference is that making? If we have a negative thought about something that's occurring externally, all that is doing is having a negative effect on our cells and our consciousness, yeah? It's not affecting, well, it could be affecting the people out there, okay, that have caused that instant reaction by our consciousness. Okay, but if it is affecting them, which some people might believe, and I'm not expecting you all to believe it, think about this as, I think it's Jonah Hill talks in an amazing documentary about his psychotherapist days. Yeah, he talks about if somebody does something bad on you, yeah, it's because they are in a really bad place. Now, if they're in a really bad place, okay, what's the best thing we can do? Well, the best thing we can do, guys, okay, is channel all the love in the universe that we can find, yeah, and send it to that one person. Because that doesn't just help them, if that's what you believe. Whether you do or you don't, it doesn't matter. Because I believe it, and there's a lot of people that do. It doesn't just help them, it helps me. Because I feel good, and so do they. Alright, Lionel. Lionel is helping me a lot, and he's tried his best to help my parents, who are not quite on this level yet, but it did help them quite a lot. I'm gonna give you all the stories about that. There's some funny stories, there's some not so funny stories, but essentially he's doing the work already, because they're back home in England, far away from here, and it has encouraged them to be better with their
New
fitness
tools to
and
use.
their diet, and it's given them more tools to use. So.
Thank you, Lyle. We need to